You wonder why they sat and watched her get stabbed in the eye by Dejanay Carrington and did nothing? They want her out of the playoffs. They think they're going to use these playoffs to build up a 6'5" Amazon woman, Asia Wilson, into the biggest star in sports. It ain't happening. They're lying to themselves. They're delusional.
Yes, you heard that right. Has Caitlin Clark, the rising star of women's basketball, been sabotaged by Nike to boost Aja Wilson and please the Black Lives Matter movement? It sounds shocking, but when you dig deeper, the pieces of the puzzle start to fit. Nike is known for making bold moves, but why are they holding back Caitlin Clark, arguably one of the most popular and talented athletes in recent history?
Nike has been reluctant to take advantage of Caitlin Clark because they have. And what I've always thought was like, man, that contract she signed seemed pretty reasonable.
In this video, we're going to uncover why Nike seems to be sidelining Clark while elevating Aja Wilson. What's the real agenda behind this? Stick around, because the truth is even more surprising than you think. Let's start with Caitlin Clark, who has proven she's not just a great player, but the player to watch. After a historic college career where she shattered records and consistently pulled in massive TV ratings, Caitlin was set to take the WNBA by storm. Many expected Nike to capitalize on her incredible success and make her the face of their women's basketball brand, but that hasn't happened.
It's like, wow, Caitlin Clark comes out of Iowa, and I started saying after her junior year in college, like, hey man, she's the biggest star in college sports. And then after what she did at Iowa her senior year, I started saying, hey, I think she's gonna be the biggest star in sports. And we've never seen this. This is a woman in America that is going to dwarf the men in terms of popularity and influence, driving. We haven't seen this since Tiger Woods, was my argument, that Tiger Woods lifted up the PGA Tour and made it very, very relevant. But this is even more impressive because the PGA Tour had relevance. They had Jack Nicklaus, who's a legitimate star of stars. The WNBA's never had anything. Nothing.
You'd think Caitlin Clark would be everywhere, on billboards and commercials with her own signature shoe line, but despite her overwhelming popularity, there's been no sign of Caitlin Clark in Nike's major campaigns. Shockingly, it's been revealed that her signature shoe might not even be available until 2026 or 2027. Compare that with LeBron James, who had his own sneaker line before his rookie season even began. So, why the delay? Why is Nike seemingly holding Caitlin Clark back?
LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlin Clark for some reason. And lo and behold, let me get to the money shot where is the money paragraph where they mention Asia? Oh, here it is. So he walks through, like, there was a Nike ad for Iowa Caitlin, though it wasn't exactly pushed on the public. There has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlin Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving all these television ratings. No Nike commercial.
According to reports, Nike's reluctance to fully embrace Clark may have less to do with her marketability and more to do with internal politics. The company is heavily focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, and that might be influencing their decisions on who to promote. Some insiders suggest that Nike is hesitant to give Clark the spotlight because they don't want to overshadow Aja Wilson, a key figure in their brand's alignment with movements like Black Lives Matter.
This is DEI. This is, hey, Asia will be offended. This is Don Staley and the rest of the angry Yas Queen feminists saying, don't do that for that white girl until you make this 6'5" black woman more popular than the white girl.
Aja Wilson is a great player, no doubt about that. But let's be real. Does she have the same crossover appeal that Caitlin Clark does? The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark consistently draws more viewers, more excitement, and more headlines. Yet Nike seems hesitant to put her front and center, perhaps out of fear of backlash from certain groups.
Why is the WNBA marketing the playoffs leading with Aja Wilson and not Kelsey Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark? Why? Why are they? No, you're white. You have to stand in line. We're committed to Aja Wilson. Aja Wilson's not going to sell a shoe. Period. End of story.
But even if this is true, what's the reasoning behind holding Clark back? Is Nike really so afraid of pushing her to the forefront because it doesn't fit their current social and political narrative? To be honest, this feels like nothing but bad business. Why pass up on an opportunity to make millions and promote an athlete like Caitlin Clark on a global stage? Now, let's take a look at the WNBA's marketing strategy itself. Given Caitlin Clark's proven ability to draw massive crowds and viewers, you'd expect her to lead every playoff promo, every commercial, every highlight reel. But that's not the case. Instead, Aja Wilson has been consistently pushed as the face of the league.
They think they're going to use these playoffs to build up a 6'5" Amazon woman, Aja Wilson, into the biggest star in sports. It ain't happening. They're lying to themselves. They're delusional.
Why? Is this about race? Is it about image? It's hard not to wonder if the WNBA is making a calculated decision to focus on Wilson because she fits a narrative they want to sell. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What about Angel Reese? Reese, who famously taunted Clark during the NCAA Finals, has been pushed into the limelight despite her behavior turning off many fans. And let's be honest, Angel Reese isn't exactly winning over the hearts of the average WNBA viewer. But why? When you compare Clark's clean, hardworking, and approachable image to Reese's controversial attitude, it's clear why so many fans are drawn to Caitlin Clark instead. And yet, we see players like Reese and Wilson receiving the majority of attention. It's almost as if the WNBA is purposely ignoring what the fans want. Before we continue with the video and dive deeper into Nike's questionable business strategy, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. What's truly baffling here is the pure business logic, or rather, the lack of it. Caitlin Clark is a walking goldmine. Her games outperform others in the WNBA by hundreds of thousands of viewers, and fans are eager to buy her merchandise. But instead of striking while the iron is hot, Nike seems more focused on appeasing certain cultural factions. And while Aja Wilson is undoubtedly talented, she doesn't have the same reach or appeal as Clark.
These leftists are idiots. Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark. It's bad business. It's short-sighted. When this woman exits the playoffs, probably tonight, the WNBA playoffs are over.
It feels like Nike is intentionally keeping Caitlin Clark in the shadows, delaying her inevitable rise to sports superstardom just to avoid stepping on toes or disrupting a certain narrative. If I'm being honest, that's not just bad business, that's sabotage. So, where does this leave Caitlin Clark? She's clearly not going anywhere when it comes to her talent and influence, but the longer Nike and the WNBA drag their feet in giving her the platform she deserves, the more opportunities they're missing. And let's be real, they won't be able to hold her back forever. Fans want to see Clark dominate, and no amount of corporate meddling will stop that. Nike can try to push Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, or any other player, but the market is speaking and it's saying loud and clear, Caitlin Clark is the future of basketball. Ignoring her now will only make her inevitable rise even more powerful. And when the dust settles, she'll be the one people remember.
With Caitlin Clark, and I'm just going to keep it real, and I know this is embarrassing, what I'm about to say. I know it's embarrassing, but I'm going to say it. If Caitlin Clark had a signature shoe, I would wear them.
What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark being sabotaged to push a different agenda? Or is this just a case of bad timing and missed opportunities? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos where we uncover the hidden truths behind the biggest stories in the WNBA.